I have a confession to make. I'm guessing I may not be alone, but before I share my confession, I want to say this. I feel like many moms think I don't deserve to be celebrated on Mother's Day. I don't feel like the super mom that I think I'm supposed to be, or like the other moms around me appear to be. I think most moms, especially moms of more than one child, feel like they're trying to keep a wildfire in check, putting out fires here, putting out fires there, and hoping everyone survives. If you can relate, this message is for you. Now, I want to make my confession to you. Sometimes I actually enjoy being sick so I can have a break. Now I know there have been many times since I've become a mother that just because I'm sick doesn't mean that I get to take a break. And I also realize that many of you moms, even when you're sick, you have no support system, so you don't get to take a break either. And don't get me wrong, I never want to be sick, but when I am, I secretly enjoy it. I enjoy guiltlessly binge watching my favorite shows. I savor the quiet time when, although physically I'm incapacitated, my mind is still active and I can still think whatever thoughts I want to think without interruption. Yes, I get fueled by quiet time. And I know that we moms don't often take time for ourselves unless we're sick. I'm reminded about the message from a flight attendant prior to takeoff. In the event of a sudden drop in cabin pressure, air masks will drop from the compartment above you. Be sure to secure your own mask before assisting those around you. Isn't it interesting that they have to tell us that? Logically, it makes sense. If we're going to help those around us, we have to be able to take care of ourselves first. We're going to need oxygen first. But the reason they have to tell us that is because it's not our natural response. Instinctively, we are taking care of the needs of the little ones all around us, especially when we have small children. Their needs are so big and pressing that it's easy to put ours on the back burner. I had a season recently where my husband and I were going through some stress. The stress was building for both of us, and finally I reached a breaking point, and I just went back in my bedroom and cried. It felt so good to cry. And then I uttered a one-word prayer to God. Help. That's all I needed to say. He knows what I need. And I thought to myself, if I hadn't had this breakdown, would I have spent quality time in prayer with God today? It was in that moment of misery that I could pray fervently and earnestly, not only for myself and my family, but also for the needs of my friends as well. Why is it in the moments that we find out we're sick that we can actually get better? I'm reminded of the time when the Pharisees asked Jesus, "Why is it you eat with the tax collectors and the sinners?" And Jesus replied to them, "It is not the healthy that need a doctor, but the sick." Now, were the Pharisees in right standing without Jesus before God? No, they were not. But the difference was they didn't see their need for the Savior. We see our need for the Savior. They didn't recognize their need. So Jesus went to the ones who understood that they needed a Savior. If you realize you're not well, it's a great place to be. If you realize your marriage is not well, it's a great place to be. If you realize that your parenting skills need work, it's a great place to be, because we have a Savior. This verse I'm about to share with you has spoken so deeply to me in my darkest struggles, in my deepest time of need. Verse comes from Psalm 22, verse 4. For he has not despised nor disdained the suffering of the afflicted one, neither has he hidden his face from him, but he has heard and listened to his cry for help. That means God understands your suffering, and he doesn't hide his face from you while you're suffering, but he listens to you. And that means if he listens to you, he's hearing and he's answering from heaven. Jesus isn't too weak to fix your parenting. Jesus isn't too weak to fix your marriage. You might be, your husband might be, I might be, my husband might be too weak, but he is not too weak. Additionally, we do not need to be God to our kids. That job is taken already. And that has brought me a lot of peace of mind. When we start off taking care of these kids when they're little and we're meeting all of their needs, it's easy to fall into the mental trap thinking that we need to be God to them. We need to be their all in all. We do not need to be their all in all. We need to point them to the one who is their all in all. One final word of encouragement that comes from 2 Corinthians 2:19. But he said unto me, my grace is sufficient for you. For my power is made perfect in weakness. Therefore I will boast all the more in my weaknesses, so that Christ's power may rest on me. This has been Dana with the Wisdom Calls channel, helping you to understand the Bible better so that you can have a better relationship with God. Have a blessed Mother's Day.